Alright, guys, welcome back to Game and Compute. Man, have you guys been following Dogecoin? Have you? I have. I think a lot of people have. I think the most recent thing I heard, which I found interesting, which, I want to talk about Dogecoin. I want to talk about freaking Robinhood. I just want to put it out there. So it's 9:07 p.m. I have a message on my Robinhood app when I go into the crypto area, into Dogecoin, to look at Dogecoin, see how it's doing live today, right now. It's 9:07 p.m. It's saying scheduled maintenance. Dogecoin trades may not execute right now. We'll be back by 9:09 p.m. or earlier. Right now would be earlier. We got a minute until 9:09 p.m. And this was actually up earlier too, right? So I'm kind of, let me see. So let's see. I'm going to see if I can review. Let's see. I won't do this right now. But basically there's a scheduled maintenance, meaning that you can't really execute trades. And this was going on before too. I don't know what to do or say. I mean, I haven't tried to execute any trades, but I'm just saying. I've never seen that up until today, and this is the second time I'm seeing it, and it's the third or fourth time I'm logging in, but maybe the second time I'm actually looking at Doge. And that's a little troubling, because that means it's not always available 24 hours a day. So I've been looking at things all day, like how the market's been all day as far as Doge. It was at a low of about 50 cents earlier this morning. And around 6:20 p.m., the only spike it's seen today was like 54, about a high of 54 cents. The highest it's been today, I think, so far is about 54 cents. At the time when I'm talking, it's about a little over 53 cents. So it's just a little confusing, right? So some things I heard about Dogecoin, there's a lot of talk, and it's hard for me. Sorry, I apologize. It's late at night. It's hard for me to kind of put the words out there because I'm not used to talking about cryptocurrency. It's not something that I'm very well versed in and have like the words and like vocabulary to be speaking about all the time. I'm still learning about it a lot. I would say I know far more than I did before, but I started investing in Bitcoin in like, I want to say like 2015 or somewhere near, I don't know. That sounds like it was too long ago. Definitely before 2018. I want to say 2015. But I don't really know. It was within the last 6 years, but I don't know exactly when. So within the last 6 years, because I'm just going by a person who taught me about it, who I used to work with, and he worked at a certain job that I've had within the last 6 years. So I wanted to put that out there. But yeah, I learned about it. I don't know everything about it, but so lately, let me just try to get to the point. So what we've been seeing in the crypto market are a lot of different things that we haven't seen before. So we're seeing celebrities getting involved. We're seeing major corporations getting involved. We're seeing banks getting involved. There's some potential of like laws and different kind of like, I don't want to call it prohibitions, but different laws that could potentially be forming around cryptocurrency. Now, none of this is meant to really talk to anybody or give financial advice of any kind. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give professional advice by any means. It's just a lot of hobby talk, speculation, some informal education, just some thought-provoking info, but not meant by any means for anyone to go and take any of this information and apply it to your life and your own finances and your own family's finances and try to use the information I'm talking about to make major decisions. If it goes wrong on your end from using what I'm saying, that if it's completely your own decision if you want to use the information in that way. But I'm just going by what I'm noticing, and I haven't even made any of my own decisions based on the things I'm going to be talking about. I haven't implemented any of these decisions based on any of the things that I'm noticing. I'm just speculating about it still. So let me start from a little bit about Bitcoin. Like, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but a little bit about Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency that most people started trusting in, knowing about, learning about. It's kind of like the grandfather of them all. Like, it's kind of like almost like it almost branded crypto. Like, when you think cryptocurrency, you think Bitcoin. Just like when you think, what do you blow your nose on? You think Kleenex, right? You don't think of the other brands of tissues. Just kind of, even Xerox, like, for example, Xerox is a company. When you're trying to like Xerox something, or a Xerox machine, they're not all the brand Xerox, right? Stuff like that. So I know that cryptocurrency has its own like title, but you would almost talk about Bitcoin almost equivalently as like, oh yeah, you think of Bitcoin, you think of crypto, you think of Bitcoin, but not all cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. There's definitely different types of cryptocurrency, but Bitcoin's the one that most people know about or first heard about, and now there's all these other ones. Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think, are the most popular. Dogecoin is one of the most spoken about lately. I'm not going to go into any details about what it is or anything, but as far as I know, with the history of Dogecoin, it was meant as kind of like a joke for fun, for people to kind of like get into crypto and trading and buying and selling and learning about crypto markets and things like that, and just playing around with it because it seemed friendly. It has like a Shiba Inu little mascot as their little logo, and there are other Shibu coins or whatever, like other kind of little offshoot projects that are coming off of it right now. So recently, what's his name? I'm looking on his name. Elon Musk. Recently, Elon Musk announced that he's no longer considering accepting Bitcoin for Tesla. And he instead is potentially going to think of another more efficient cryptocurrency to use. So people are speculating as to what that means. And when it comes to different types of cryptocurrency, we do see Elon Musk a lot often when it comes to Dogecoin. And so people are speculating that he's talking about Dogecoin. So it's very interesting, guys, that, we talk about meme culture, we talk about meme investing. We talk about how, for years, most of what people didn't think about the stock market. Most people didn't think about it. It wasn't like a thing that was part of our daily language. Finance wasn't a thing that was usually something we talked about too often. We see these economic impact payments coming in for people. It wasn't something that we've ever really experienced, that I've ever heard of. We see, I'm not making a political statement about it. I'm just saying, like, I'm glad that there's free money. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know if it's going to last. I don't know if it's going to hurt the economy or hinder us in any way or make things better for us, or is this the beginning of the end? I don't really know. But it's, at the least, it's exciting because it's new and it's different and we don't know what to think. A lot of us, myself included. So, okay. So it's 9:17. I don't know when this happened, but my Dogecoin page on Robinhood is no longer in maintenance mode. So, okay. Okay, so yeah, we're seeing all these things related to kind of meme culture. So meme investing started, to me, it started becoming noticeable in like 2020. I've heard of it before, but I've never really seen it implemented in the way that it was before, like that time during the scary Rona. And so I would just say what we've seen with the Tesla company, Elon Musk, no longer accepting Bitcoin. They say that they saw dips in Bitcoin, Bitcoin lost a lot. People were pulling out of Bitcoin based on what Elon Musk had talked about, right? So that's one thing. That's a whole other side topic. I don't know if that's considered part of meme investing, but I'll just call it media in general, right? Media, attention. We're seeing now how the media impacts things, and it's getting kind of interesting, right? So cryptocurrency, the interesting thing about it is that you don't have to go through the traditional banking system. There's nobody who's the middleman taking your money. There's nobody who's telling you anything. It's your money. It's in your wallet. Yes, you don't know how much it's going to cost from time to time, if you're going to lose it, if you're going to gain more. And with the slow situation between transaction times, I understand that makes it more challenging of a currency to use, because if I want to go buy something, with the money in my Capital One account, for example, I can go over to 7-Eleven, swipe my Capital One, debit card, MasterCard, and instantaneously almost, or while the time I'm at the register, it posts and I can pay, right? With cryptocurrency, I believe, it can change the amount of worth and the amount of payment can change based on how much the cryptocurrency is worth, and then also the time to process payments is slower. The amount of time slower, I don't really understand those numbers or know them off the top of my head, but basically it's not the same as going and swiping my bank card and paying right then. There's a lot of differences that go into it compared to that classic situation that we're used to. And so when it comes to crypto, that's one of the challenges, that there's not really been an answer yet to how to remedy that situation. And I know they're working on it, but There is no answer yet, but we see banks getting so involved in crypto. Somebody mentioned before, which was almost like a joke, but at the same time, kind of like maybe they really meant it too, like, because it's possible. They're like, okay, so we see something like Elon Musk, making a comment about a major popular company not accepting Bitcoin. Right after that statement, you see a lot of people pulling out of Bitcoin, right? Okay. You also hear about banks, major bankers, major corporations, major players in corporations, people with a lot of money investing in crypto. You see banks, traditional banks and lines of credit investing in crypto. You see, so you have the investors, you have the the buyers. You have people who are purchasing crypto, and they're basically buying it in larger amounts than most of us can. Most of us don't have like hundreds of thousands, if not a million or more dollars to be like playing with. And if we did have that money, would we put it in like that or not? Like, I don't know. But we're seeing banks, getting involved too. And it I don't think they're just doing it just to see what's going to happen, right? There's got to be some incentive they have to this. There's smart financial people, and there's got to be something behind it. So that's something I'm trying to figure out. Somebody mentioned, the funny thing that they mentioned was that, what if all these big players are going in and just, saying, okay, I'll take $1 million here, put $1 million there, and take a couple million here, put a couple, and they're all just like talking back and forth to each other about how to play with this market and like make it dip, make it rise, and they're benefiting from it because they're kind of fluctuating the market because they have so much money. That's a big possibility, right? That's a big possibility that there are companies out there making, tons and tons and tons of return on their investment by communicating with each other because they're able to control the market by investing so much at a time that it actually fluctuates the market itself. People who are even in charge of news and things like that, if they get good at the statistical analytics side of seeing if I post this on this day at this time of the month at this time of the year, they're going to notice when they can post what about what and when, and what those numbers should look like to get people to either buy or sell, and that will control the market. And when people are buying and selling and they know the predictions, you can buy when it's low, you buy a lot more, and if you have a lot to invest, when that money does spike, when it does go up, when the cost rises, you're making money on all of that. And the more money you've put in at those dips, it's going to be worth more, and when it does rise, you're going to cash out. Like they were saying the other day, people who would have invested $100 in that Bitcoin dip, I don't remember when it was. I think it was a few weeks ago now. It was after GameStop. I remember that, after the GameStop situation. If they would have invested $100 during that dip, when it rose, they would have had $9,000. There was a man who is a YouTuber. Let me look for him. There's this YouTuber who was explaining, sorry, I have to find his name. He was explaining, situations that occurred with like $1 million or so of his, that he's won or lost $1 million or so twice now, based on dips in Dogecoin. And so I'm trying to find his name. Sorry, I see where the videos are. I just need to see if his name shows up. I don't see his name, guys. I'm sorry. And it's on YouTube. He's really into Dogecoin. He's been on Graham Stephan's Iced Coffee Hour. And the most recent video he was in is called the dark side of Dogecoin, losing $1 million. There's more to that title as well, but I can't see it because I'm just in the thumbnail mode, so on my phone. So yeah, it's that much money, I mean, people get excited, some people get ashamed, some people get know what they're doing, some people don't know what they're doing. But those are some things that have come up, right? In addition to, them seeing trends with like Pinterest and Twitter and, different when people create memes about things, and it can kind of drive the market too, one way or another. And most recently, what we've seen was with Saturday Night Live. When Elon Musk was on Saturday Night Live, they mentioned that he was doing skits on there, and during the commercial breaks, he had made a mention of Bitcoin, of Dogecoin, and, because these are skits, they're comedy skits, and so, he was talking about it, and during the commercial breaks, that's when people were, buying, there are certain parts of either the commercial breaks or other times, during the live viewing, where, the market was dipping, and, it was a good time to buy, people were selling, and there was this whole entire simultaneous, exchange of, crypto, of Doge, during SNL. And it's I mean, I may sound bad when I'm talking about this, but I'm more fascinated in what? I'm in a wow factor. It's kind of what? I've never heard of this kind of stuff before, where it's okay, we take someone like Elon Musk, who we know has been recently often voicing, interest about Dogecoin. We know that he has an interest in it, and people before were he's gonna accept Tesla purchases in Bitcoin, and now he says he's not going to, but he's still talking about his interest in Bitcoin. And then people are making these speculations about something he said in one of the SNL skits about something about June 13th, where he made a mention in one of the skits, and it was a joke, and they're is something going to happen with Doge, or is there going to be some announcement on June 13th of 2021? We don't know. And when it comes to money, people are, money's an interesting thing. And let me take a little side tangent, and I'm literally going to time this for 2 more minutes. So past 25 minutes and 30 seconds, I won't talk about this anymore. But so let me keep this really brief. I kind of binge watch certain shows, just like any other person, right? So I've been watching a lot of Judge Faith Jenkins. I skip the episodes that are about cars and that kind of stuff. I skip the episodes about people's pets. I skip the episodes about car accidents or car purchases, stuff like that. But almost any of the other stuff I find pretty interesting, because I don't find that other stuff interesting. So I find these other topics interesting, right? And I kind of in a moment, after a long time watching the show, back to back episodes, just 3 seasons worth of it, just watching over and over and over. Not over and over episodes, but watching, newer different episodes over and over, I'm realizing this show is all about money. This show is all about money. People needing someone to make a judgment on who owes the money, or does anyone owe money in a legal matter. And there's emotions involved, right? So there's money involved, there's emotions involved. Both people think that either they should have, one party should have to pay, or another party, or that party themselves feels like they shouldn't have to pay, because of whatever reasons. They're able to provide proof. A lot of times they don't have proof, and a lot of times there's like a lot of like lying and stuff too, that we don't really know 100% what is real and what's not. But if you can't provide proof for some things, and then the way the stories unfold, sometimes you realize people are lying. And we never really know 110% what happened, because none of us were there. Some of the evidence is great, some of it isn't. But it's interesting for me to see that all these people are coming to this court, with an issue revolving around money and emotion, right? So let me stop there. So, yeah. So when I'm realizing that, and I'm thinking about, something like June 13th, or something like speculation, and how people are interested in money, and, this is a different side. It's not something happened in the past, I feel like somebody owes me. Or rather, something happened in the past, I feel like I should get this person to have to pay me because I was emotionally distressed at that time because of them. It's nothing like that. This is an upcoming thing, something coming in the future, that people are now, for the first time that I've ever seen in my lifetime, seen people thinking about how entertainment plays into the market, whether that's stocks, crypto, whatever. How news, entertainment, internet, memes, Twitter, social media, all of this is driving the market. Right? And at the same time, we have banks over here doing some finagling around. Like, I don't know, I call it finagling because I don't know what they're doing. I just think they're banks, they have money. Like, why aren't they just using money? Why are they so interested in crypto? And you're seeing multiple, like, Visa or whatever, like, multiple, like, bank and credit related places having large investments in crypto. And it's like, wow, I wonder why. And then something else I've heard about is, and I don't know how to even explain this correctly, but Graham Stephan talks about this a lot too, about when it comes to crypto, there's a certain way that crypto is basically not as regulated as it could potentially be, because it's not labeled as a certain thing. So there's certain types of labels and categories where it's like they have less flexibility and freedom for people to buy and sell and do whatever they want, because it's within a certain category. And crypto is not in that specific category now, so it doesn't really come up like that. So I just think it's all interesting, guys. I don't know what you guys think. I think it's just so interesting. I'm excited about it. I'm trying not to get emotionally invested in the thought of, if I invest, I'll make a lot of money. That would be nice. That would be cool. I'm not saying that's not cool. I do want to learn about the stock market more. I do want to learn about how to predict things better, whether it's based on the numbers or based on the media or whatever it's based on. What kind of drives these numbers? I want to learn that better. But I'm trying my best not to have the mindset of let me make money, because I know when I start getting into that mindset, it's hard, for me to not spiral and start making split impulse decisions that I don't really know what I'm doing. It just feels good and it's fun, and I'm like excited. I'm like, let me go invest in all this stuff. But then at the same time, when I do have at least small investments and things, it's my money. So I'm like, I will learn about it, because I'm starting, like I mentioned before, I'm getting more educated about finance and about different sort of things like this. And so those are just two things that I'm learning about. And so, well, not two things, but those are just some things I'm learning about myself, about the world of finance and crypto and Dogecoin. And it was no rocket science information here. I'm not Elon Musk, but it's just some stuff that I compiled that I thought was interesting just to put in one place as a little talk for people who may not have listened to or watched all this other stuff that I've been kind of, listening to lately. That's kind of the stuff that's come to my mind about it. I'm interested in talking more about Dogecoin. So if people seem like they're gravitating towards this type of content, I'll definitely be posting more about it as I learn more. The learning curve is steep. I know a little bit about crypto mining. I know it's possible to make your own crypto, but it takes more resources. I mean, you can't just have like a little like Raspberry Pi program, like a Python little mining software and create a little mining system on like that small CPU and expect that you're gonna get too much out of it. Like, you have to have a lot of computing power. You have to have a lot of electricity spent. Internet has to be good. You're spending there. Those are all expenses. And then the return would have to be better than what you're spending and all of those fees to just run your mining. So if you have methods of doing it through like apps and things like that, that's different. But they do have a lot of ways you can mine through things that look like game apps, and so that is a little confusing too, because it's like they're making it more like, I've noticed, like, I think someone mentioned this before. I don't know if it was Graham Stephan, but they mentioned it before too, that it's like a game. Like, the way you look at the platform, like the user interfaces a lot of times look very game like, and so it becomes almost like crypto feels different sometimes, just because you feel like you're playing a game where you can eventually win a whole lot of cash or crypto that is equivalent to a certain amount of cash. But it's interesting. I'm finding it very interesting. First of all, I'm finding it interesting because I've never seen anything like this before. And I'm a complete tech geek. Like, I'm not overboard because I have other hobbies and other things to spend my time doing. So it's not like I'm always going to be on my computer doing stuff that's related to like this kind of thing. But I can easily sit down in front of like a statistical package and just like want to run numbers and like data on like all sorts of fun things that I can find data sets on stuff. That's one way to do it, is finding data sets and, running regressions and, during different times in the market. Some other things I've been working on, I use Robinhood a lot, so learning how to like read every portion of it and know what it means, that was a big first step. Just looking at it, let me see. I think I'm about to get into Cardano, but I'm not yet. But I have a Yoroi wallet that I have to set up. It just seems... I was trying to even create a login, and it looks so complex. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this right now. But I might do it if I'm up late or first thing in the morning, like 5 a.m. on like a Sunday morning. That sounds like a good thing to start doing. So I might do that soon. And yeah, I'm seeing, okay, what else did I see recently? I saw a crypto debit card. So that's something that's coming out that we've never seen before. They're kind of like metallic, so that's pretty cool. Like like they're like aluminum. They're metal. I don't know if it's stainless steel or aluminum, what it is, but they're metal. I've seen... That's mostly what I've seen. But yeah, definitely the Dogecoin situation is becoming interesting. People talking about Cardano as well. So Cardano is another one that interests me. But I haven't invested yet because it's just weird. The wallet is weird. I couldn't find it on... It's not on Coinbase. It's not on Robinhood. At least at this time when I'm speaking of it, it's not. So it's like, now I got to open up a whole new wallet and do this whole other process and learn this whole other app just for Cardano. But I'm going to do it. I just haven't yet. But I mean, I have other priorities right now. That's not one of them. But, but people are saying Cardano's going to take off. And again, a lot of these cryptos starting really low. But if you guys like this content, I'm definitely going to post more. But it's just really interesting. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I haven't even honestly watched all the SNL skits. I need to go and watch those. I watched some of Elon Musk talking. I've watched a lot of his recent interviews, but not that specifically. I've watched some of Snowden's interviews. Somebody was joking saying, is there going to be a Snowden coin? But his interviews on like security and privacy and how crypto is kind of a level in different than our common banking, right? Because everything, even me talking into this phone, is being recorded. Somebody out there, whoever you are, government, whatever, knows where my phone is, can trace me, can track me. Even if I didn't have my phone, there are enough electronic devices around the city and around me that could trace since whoever last had my phone. I remember they were saying, I think this happened in Korea, or my mom was telling me about this in Korea, that a lot of, I think it was Korea, that a lot of cars have, cameras in the back of the car. I don't know what she was saying exactly in the details. This was a while back now, but she was telling me how like, there were some thefts or some kind of like vandalism or something happening to cars in a neighborhood in Korea, and the way that they could find people was because a lot of the cars, even when they were parked and turned off and people were inside their houses or work or whatever, the cars were able to record what was going on around them. So like it kind of had a different impact on theft and vandalism and things like that, because it's like, well, if you have certain cars that can technically record what's going on around you and you don't really know, you're not like alerted that this car has a camera, this one doesn't, like, so I'm pretty sure I'm just saying that to say I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them around where I would live too, where there's cameras and stuff too. So it's like, you can't really get away with much nowadays, and all your spending for the most part is monitored. You've got cookies on all of your devices now. We always have, but I mean, you can do a little like VPN, change your IP address, or hide it or whatever, but that's not gonna help you 100%. People having Alexis and Siri and freaking Google, all these little robot things. I freaked myself out the other night watching all these little like AI, like, and like voice technology type of household devices talking back and forth to each other and like making weird comments in the middle of the night and laughing and like not answering certain questions. They turn off when you talk about the government. I've even had experiences with my own electronic devices, phones and stuff, where I've like mentioned something or no, like, I don't even know. I can't really even like tell you 100%, but like, I've mentioned something kind of like in passing or whatever. And then next thing I know, I log into my phone and here's an ad for it. It's like, wait, I was just talking about that right before. It's like my phone wasn't even on. And it's like, I never like buy Domino's pizza, and why is there an ad for Domino's pizza all of a sudden? It's kind of like stuff like that. That's like, what? Like, that's too much of a coincidence. Especially for something that I don't think I've ever, maybe even more than once or twice ever in my life, even purchased Domino's pizza. Like, actually bought it with my own money. So it's not even something that would be common for me. So it's kind of like stuff like that. But yeah, if we even see stuff like that, and like a patient mentioned this to me too, that like, yeah, clearly the mics and cameras are always on, or else you couldn't scan your face, or you couldn't say, alert like Google or Siri or whoever you're alerting. I mean, it has to be able to be activated with your phone off, right? Like, we assume our phones are off when we're not in them, but it's not really fully off. And it's got to be doing some level of recording for it to be able to be activated to hear you when you say what those commands are for it to bring up Siri or whatever it may be, right? So it's kind of like, that's another level of privacy that's like really, like with the cameras and the mics, it's not really that secure. Even when it's off, it's even questionable. And so I'm going way off topic, but I'm just saying, like, we have all these computational devices that are linked to our finances, as far as the apps we buy, to where we even drive to when we have our phones. Most of us, when we go out, when we go anywhere, we keep our phone on us. So even if you're not buying anything and you just take out cash from your bank, where they can tell where you went to your bank, and then they can tell where you drove around based on where your phone was, you can still put two and two together. This person went to Ralph's, then they went to the gas station. You can still see, if you really had the technology to be in somebody's phone GPS and logging and tracking where they're at all the time. None of us has time for that, but the government can have that information, right? And this isn't my paranoia. I'm just being honest, right? So when we look at big picture stuff like that, when Snowden talks about it and stuff, and we start seeing like that our privacy isn't really there, our spending privacy is somebody's knowledge other than just our own. And then in addition to that, you have something like crypto that is not as traceable as our bank. So that's a whole interesting factor, right? Because it's something that isn't being monitored so much by our government. I'm pretty sure it can be. Maybe it is. I don't know. But people use it on the dark web. People use crypto in certain forms to purchase things so that they cannot be traced. First of all, they're on the dark web. Second of all, they're using currency that cannot be traced, or in a way that it cannot be traced. So there's a whole form of buying and selling that exists that is not traceable versus, or is way less traceable than our common form of buying and selling that we use, like traditional banking systems and debit cards and all these convenient apps and swipe your thing here and there and all that. Like, you can easily do that. And I'm not bashing either one. I use all sorts of things, but just saying, that's one advantage, of crypto, is that, there is more privacy with it. What a person chooses to do with that privacy is their own business, but some people like that, and then other people, it scares them. The people who want the control, it's going to scare them to know that they can't have control over every aspect of somebody's money, or buying or selling or marketing to them. Because if someone's only buying and selling in crypto, only getting paid in crypto, and you can't tell what they're buying or selling with that crypto, how are you going to market to that person, right? If you're collecting all their information, but there's nothing to be collected. And if everyone started doing that, I mean, our economy a lot of times is based on buying and selling buying at a certain price, and then reselling things, goods, services, whatever it may be, at a profit, right? Whether that's having somebody in the middle of some, no offense to like Eastern Asian countries, but having somebody in a country, like an underdeveloped country of any place, making your Nikes for you, and then I'm sure they're not getting paid $120 for those basketball shoes, right? So, just things like that. So they can be sold at a very great profit and made at someone else's expense for the most part. Usually, a lot of our major brands, unfortunately, do go that route of manipulating and, taking advantage of other people and other cultures and other countries and other places to do work at a cheap labor amount so that we can benefit off of it and profit. Retail arbitrage is the same. A lot of drop shipping can be the same. I'm not knocking it. I've been involved in all that kind of stuff. I love it. I live for it, man. I make full-on projects out of it, and I'm just like, I want to make this much money in this amount of time. I give myself a large amount of time to do it, and I'll usually be able to reach those goals. If I'm like, I want to make $250 by the end of next month, and like, I can make that happen. Like, it's not maybe a whole lot of money, but it's like, I want a $250 profit, dang it. So I can make it happen if I really sit down, research it out, brand it properly or market it properly. And then, but it takes a lot of work, and I'm working full time. So, at my other job. So I don't really do those projects all the time, but when I find a good one, when I'm like, oh yeah, this one's definitely got some value to it. When you finally find like a winning product that you're just like, oh yeah, I can sell these eyebrow brushes, like I can buy them super cheap in bulk at like 13 cents a pop from China, and they sell like $15 over here. It's like, that's a pretty dang good profit. But yeah. So, but yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm like, if I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out, in all honesty. So yeah, I'm gonna post more on these topics, but yeah, keep your eye on crypto, keep your eye on Dogecoin, even Cardano. Keep your eye on it, guys, because there is some movement. There's some movement. Things are churning. Things are moving. It's exciting out there. Don't get too overly indulgent in it and lose a lot of money. If you do, just learn from it some way. If there are losses or disappointments, try to always learn from them. Don't just be like, that was in the past, F that, and get zero out of it, but a whole bunch of lost money. You want to at least gain some knowledge and some education out of a situation that went wrong. Just try not to be impulsive, but try not to take too many risks either, but also try to use your best judgment too, and learn what that best judgment looks like. Just use your head, don't use your emotion. Use your logical mind. Don't use your excitement or, your necessity for money when investing. If you're really in need, crypto probably isn't the place to really be like, oh, let me just wing it and see if I can make a turn a profit on my rent money. It's like, nah, probably not the best idea. But, yeah, that's what I have to say about the most recent Dogecoin updates that I have. And yeah, guys, I'm going to keep posting about these financial topics. I'm finding them pretty exciting and fun. If you guys are liking this, let me know. I'm basically going by the amount of people who watch certain types of or who listen to certain types of podcast content. If I see a diverse range of people listening, then I'll post more of that same stuff. People seem to want to know about economic impact payments, the stimulus checks, the stimulus money, so I'm posting about that. This is my first crypto information post, thought-provoking post about Dogecoin. I don't know if that's what people want to hear. It's not really too directly related to side hustles and like second income streams, but in a way it kind of is. So because if you can make income off of this, it's considered an income stream if you can make money off of crypto. But to do that, it takes some form of effort, right? Some form of knowledge that I think we would all like to gain that knowledge if we're interested in crypto. But right now for me, it's not like a predictable thing enough so that I could, like, I'm not able to predict enough that I would be comfortable giving advice or even like suggesting things. I'm just kind of putting ideas and thoughts out there of things that come across my mind and things I've heard other people saying recently that I think are interesting. That's all this really is. So yeah, guys, well, I'm gonna call it quits for tonight, and thanks for listening.